So hopefully you guys start seeing the first one is a quadratic, second one is a cubic, and third one is linear. So I'm gonna go through them. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see this. 18 minus 30. I'm gonna from the bottom. 3 minus 4 is what? -1, right? And this is what? -5. This is -9. And this is -13. And this one is 4. And this one is what? 4 and 4. So this is a quadratic. Now let's look at this one. So that one is gonna be -40. Actually it's 43. 3. 1 minus 2 is -1, right? And 2 minus -29, so it's 31. Is that okay? And 43 minus 3 is what? 40. And this one is what? And this one's what? -32, right? So from here to here is what? 36. 36, right? This is third difference. So that's the cubic. Now I rearrange the last one a little bit trickier. So obviously I kind of think about this might be a linear, but I'm going to rearrange this number. So can I rearrange 4 to be, can I rearrange this, that x, y, 5, 32, 4, 25, 3, 18, 2, 11, 0 is -3. Now this one is all stay the same, so this is going to go down to what? 7. Well, this is -7, this is a -7, this is -7. But if you go to -7 twice, it should give you a -3. So yeah, so this is a definitely linear because, and then now I'm gonna go type in all the information. Right, I'm gonna type in all the information on decimals. Make sure you know how to do it because this might help you on SAT. This is one of the second skill I always talk about is -2, 31, and -1, 18, 0, 9, 1, 4, and 2, 3. So they look like we don't know if that's even quadratic just by looking at this. So we're gonna say y1. We know it's quadratic, so it's ax. Tilde. Did you do tilde? You guys do this? ax1 square plus bx plus c, or bx1 plus c. You find the a, you find the b, you find the c. So it's going to be 2x squared minus 7x plus 9. Is that okay? Okay. So next one, we got, I have no idea what this is, but I know it's the third difference. So it's the third difference, it must be cubic. So I need to write out all the data. So I'm going to write in here. -2, -29, -1 is 2, 0 is 1, 1 is 4, 2 is 47. and you're like, okay, well, I have no idea what's this, but we know it's cubic. So we're gonna use y2 in this case because we are using y2 data, not y1 data. Does that make sense or no? So obviously we will have ax1 to the third power plus bx1, oh sorry, not x1, I'm dumb, 2, this will be x2 to the square plus cx plus d. And guess what? They found A, B, C, and D. How do I come up with the question? I just write the equation, I build a table. And then I use that table and I give it to you. And you gotta find the equation. Do you guys understand the second part? Anybody don't understand? Everybody understand? Ashley, you got it? And third one's linear. So I'm not gonna go through linear because linear is way easier than this one, but just gonna be y3 equal to mx3 plus b. Is that okay? So also, if everything's on the dot, that r squared is going to equal to 1. Now, r squared is called regression coefficients. The more closer to 1, the more exact the data is. Sometimes it could be 0.9, because sometimes it could be 0.8. Anything between 0.75 to 1 is called highly correlated. Sometimes you got data, sometimes above, underneath, you got some residual values. But we're also going to talk about residual value because actually all those things is in Algebra 1 now, actually. They teaching that in Algebra 1 now. At least for my son, when he was in OSS, that they actually teach all this in Algebra 1 now. I'm actually forced him to do a lot of math questions. So does that make sense? Okay. So we're going to talk about graphing. We're going to talk about transformation as well. How do I graph this? First of all, we got to analyze what kind of parent function is this. What kind of parent function do you think this is? What is it? Linear? No, it's not linear. It has a special notation there. Absolute value. What does absolute value look like? So we're going to say parent function is absolute value. What does it look like? It look like V shape, right? Not U shape. Can you tell me what this do to the to the absolute value function? Sorry, this one. This one here, -1. What does it do? Up, down, left, right. It's going down 1 or left 1 or up 1 or right 1. Which one? Down 1 because it's outside the absolute, outside the parenthesis, right? What does this -2 do? Yes. Yes, I think so. Am I think so. I can tell I'm Alzheimer. So it looks like V shapes, right? Now, so it's moved down 1. So write down 1. The vertex is down 1. What else? Left or right? Right 2. Good job. That's from the last test, right? Inside the parenthesis. What does the minus sign in the front do? Reflect toward what? X-axis. Good job. So you guys already know how to do this. Across X-axis. So I'm just gonna do here. Sorry, no more absolute value graph. I'm gonna go ahead and graph that first though. but you don't have to graph it. So it looks like this, right? Normally it looks like that, right? So I'm gonna go down 1 units and right 2 units, so it'll be 2 here. So it's gonna be a vertex here. The slope is gonna be, it's gonna reflect across x-axis. So instead of v, it's gonna be upside down v. It's gonna look like this. And it had to be exactly slope of 1 because the number in front of x is 1. Is that okay for everybody? It's pretty easy, right? Somebody open the door. I'm bringing gifts. Oh, thank you. Well, that's a lot. That's all from you? Oh, Howard, thank you so much. Thank you, Chris. Oh, Chase, sorry, Chase. Is that okay? Now I'm gonna ask you to grab piecewise function of this time. But I'm gonna go to parabola too. So y equal to absolute value x plus 2 squared minus 1 minus. What's the parent function of this one? A parabola. So it's going to be the x squared graph. Would you say? So it looks like a U shape. It had to be a certain coordinate. That coordinate will have to be 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4. Okay? Is that okay? Now, it's moving which direction?
Down 1, left 2.
Down 1, left 2, and the reflect x-axis. Good. So I'm gonna go ahead and graph it. So I'm going to only move the vertex. It's gonna move left 2 units, down 1 unit, so it's right here. Is that okay? Now it doesn't look like a V shape. It has to look like exactly parabola with the exact coordinate. That means if you plug in 0 for the x squared, it's gonna be 0. If you plug in 1, it's gonna be 1. But it's facing down, so it's this way. If you plug in 2, it's gonna be 4, so it's gonna be 4 units apart. So it's gonna be right here. Does that make sense? And of course, this keep on going, this keep on going if I have no restriction. Got it? Good? We're gonna introduce your new graph. Square root x graph. How many of you guys know what the square root x graph look like? Or if you don't know, plug in. But there was only a few value in your plug-in. If I plug in -1 and define, well, it's going to give you I. It's not real, so you're not able to graph it. 0 is going to give you 0, so it's this. 1 is going to give you this. 4, it's a perfect square root, is 2. So it's like a sideways parabola, but only in half, because it doesn't have a negative part. And this point is where the transformation is. Is that okay? That point is a 1. So how do I graph y equal to absolute value x minus 1 plus 2? Up to, right 1, right? But it looks like that shape. So make sure it looks like that. So up to, right here, right 1's gonna be right here. So it's gonna be this, look like kind of like a parabola kind of thing. I call it quarter of football. Because you think about it, this is roughly like a quarter of football. I call it quarter football graph. And the reason why in calculus, we actually had to take this graph, we had to rotate around the axis. It looks like half a football. If you rotate, we can rotate outside and inside the graph. Outside the board and inside the board. So it will look like exactly a spiral of a football. So right now, you can just graph this. This dotted line doesn't count, so I'm gonna erase that. Is that okay? You guys good? Okay, so now we're gonna try to graph the next one. We can graph the piecewise function. Yeah. Uh, So now this time I want you to graph restrictions. So we got 3 different piecewise function, 3 different transformations. Again, I can ask you evaluation as well, but I want you to graph this one exactly correctly. It's not hard, it's just follow restriction, graph all those transformations. So every skill is built on top of another. My classes is always structured that way, so you still have to know your old skill. And today I might give you a graph, ask you the equation. You gotta remember, follow the restrictions. So before we deal with lines, now I give you a different type of graph. Now you can graph this now. Instant advantage. Good. SAT is next, PSAT is next week. I want you, if you can use decimal, strictly use decimals. There is a reason, because your hand calculations sometimes make a little bit dumb mistakes. Anthony is in the back. He's an Asian kid in the back there. He's doing Calc 3, by the way. So, I mean, he told me that he go through the whole SAT. He did not try to do any calculation. He also says sometimes the answer question so easy is x plus 2 equal to 3. He said even those questions, like, it make him tweaking. So, so he will actually just type in the decimal, just make sure you get it right, because you can use decimal to verify your answer, right? Just make sure, like, because that question still worth just as much. It's a very difficult question, so don't make those questions wrong, because you'd be surprised. 20% of you guys gonna get that question wrong in here, because people don't know how to add and multiply sometimes. Rely on the calculator. Usually I'll never say that, but now you can verify a lot of things very easily using the things I was showing, find the x-intercept. It's stuff like that. It's more very important. So this one is gonna be, the first region is a red. Second region is gonna be a blue from here to here. Third region is a green. Is that okay? I'm gonna start with the red function here. Is the first one is a red. So I'm gonna graph. It's moving right 4, up 1, and it's facing down. Do you have this graph? Is it good? Samuel, is good?
Yeah.
Good. Now that the square root graph is going to go left 2, down 4. Left 2, down 4. It's going to be like right here. Now that point is kind of hard to memorize, because square root of 0 is 0. Now square root 1 is 1, so it's 1 up here. By the way, this is an open circle if I want to be very picky. And this is open circles right here. So it's going to be like this type of curve. It has to be a specific point. It's a sideway parabola. Half of a sideway parabola. So we're gonna use purple for this one. So purple is gonna be from here to here. Is that okay? Oh, blue. Sorry, maybe blue. Is that okay so far? Now the last one is a parabola, moving left 4 units, right? Left 4 unit here, down 1. So this parabola is gonna start right here. Now remember exact coordinates. And this is a graph. This is a graph I have. But memorize the x squared coordinate and square root x coordinate to be exact. Now, in your future standardized test is not as precise. I like to be precise because I want to see student improving for each one, because each thing is built up from something. Today, I'm gonna give you lists, but in terms of piecewise. I'm gonna give you a graph as you find an equation. I'm gonna give you some SAT question that you can review. Sometimes you have to find slope, and then plug in point slope form to find out the equation. You can find x-intercept, y-intercept. You can find all the things. So treat it as like, try to, you want to make sure you do your homework, because right now I'm trying to help you. This is how much I charge people. I charge people $150 to teach the same exact thing I'm teaching you guys. So if you're my student, I'm trying to give you as much as I can to help you increase your score. I don't know if it will, but hopefully it will. Yeah.